Hi, Dr. Tom Hansen here, coming to you from the Play Big Academy in Tampa, Florida. And I want to give a shout out to a few people who are really accomplishing some great results and have really broken through from one level to the next. And then I'll tell you why I think that is. So, but here's just a few examples. I have a basketball player. His mom really contacts me and says, my guy has had a hitch in his jump shot for the last 3 years, and we haven't been able to figure out what's going on. We've seen psychologists, sports psychologists, doctors, and this most recent guy they had said, oh, I just talked to last night, that said I should take 2 months off from shooting jump shots and only shoot layups. And I said, no, let's do one session and then go shoot afterwards. And did it turn right around? No, it took about 3 sessions. But now I get an email back from the mom saying, wow, he is shooting threes off the dribble. He said this was the hardest thing. He's driving on 6, 7 players and scoring even while he's double teamed. Been chosen to play point every time he's handled the ball, and it's like he's got his own style. He's back, and we have not seen this for about 3 years. So a 3-year layoff, and now he's got it figured out. Why is that? Well, the big reason I'd say is because of the model that he used to get better. And obviously, in this case, the model that I espoused for him in our one-on-one meetings. But here's another guy. I get a text from a player that we really did just do in one session. He said, hey, I just want to let you know tonight was the best I've felt in 3 years. No bad throws, strong throws to the pitcher, throws to second were great, obviously catcher. And so for 3 years he had suffered. And what else do we have? Oh, I have this email that came in from another guy that says, Thank God. No, he's like, words cannot express my gratitude to you because it's now he can throw, and he's really having a good time throwing again. Now you might say, okay, all these are Yips people. Unfortunately, that's not me. Well, all the Yips is just on a continuum. It's on an extreme. If you're underperforming, if you have a performance gap where you're not playing to your potential, not playing as well as you know you can play, not even, I don't know what your potential is, but you're playing here, but you know you could play here. Well, that's like a form of the Yips. It's just you don't have the extreme case where you can't throw the ball to the pitcher, perhaps, but you've got some way that you're underperforming. And what I do has just been, I mean, it's why you haven't heard from me very much lately, is I've just been so busy working with people. I've got a list right now that I'm going to try and catch up on of people that want to get into my one-on-one program. And here's the deal. I mean, I've got more here. I've got a mom saying, I just really like this one. A mom saying, the other coaches cannot believe his transformation. And that's a word that's near and dear to my heart because that's what I'm playing for. It's like a transformation. They're like, the kid was this way and now he's this way. Unbelievable transformation. Now, here's the deal on this model. It's like, well, what are you doing and why is this working? Tapping? Yes, but it's more than that. There's a model. What most coaches don't do is look at a player and say, well, how is a human being designed? How do humans work? We tend to just jump ahead and say, okay, we're playing baseball or basketball, anything. It's like, well, here's what you need to do. And you use our Western bias of taking what we see, capital W, Western culture. We champion what we see. And so we're looking at, it's like, well, he needs to do this, and he needs to do this, and he needs to do this, but there's much more to it. We need to understand how the mind works. Just a quickie is that everything revolves around safety. We're designed to be safe. And I was having a long conversation with my wife, who's a corporate coach, just came back from a gig in New York, working with this high-level team, the top level team of a very successful business up there. And it's like about safety. I can just hear everything she says. Well, that guy's doing that to be safe. That guy's doing that to be safe. The leader keeps the people down. Why? To keep him safe. And even if he's not doing it consciously, he is undercutting and subverting the power of these people because he would feel threatened. Not consciously. He's not deliberately being a jerk. He is just doing what he knows based on his inner programming. And with a player with the Yips, it's an act of love. It's his body protecting him from making a bad throw. His body is trying to make you not throw the ball. What's the best way to make sure you don't make a bad throw? It should be very embarrassing and get you kicked out of the tribe. Don't throw at all. So clamp on the ball and don't throw it. Your body's saying don't throw it. It could be embarrassing. And of course it's embarrassing. And then it says, see, told you. So what we have to do is we have to go back and literally change the memories. We have to change a person's memories such that, like when I hit a button, when I stop this video, I'm going to click a button and it's going to stop it. And that's because it's programmed in. And it's the same thing. We each have buttons that get pressed and then we run a program. Not a conscious choice any more than this thing. The computer is not going to think about it. It's going to run it. And that's how 94% of us run, by a program. Oh, you see something? Boom. Oh, that's a house. I walk up to some, I have a program, it's a house. I can trust it. I don't go walk around every house I go in because I need to inspect to see if it's sound. I have rules in my head. It's like, that looks right. Fine, walk in without thinking about it. That's how most of what we do runs. We have to change that. If you have a built up, hey, throwing a ball is a threat, or going to this tryout, I feel threatened, boom, you're going to run a program that's going to contract you. It's going to make your muscles tight, and you're going to underperform. You're going to have that performance gap. When you don't have a performance gap, you're playing totally free and joyful. Like Jeter in the playoffs is like, this is so much fun. This is great. Where the rest of the people are like, oh my gosh. They have a program that perceives that as a threat. So what do you have to change the programming, and that's what I'm doing. Number one thing is measure it. What is your program? What is your programming structure? I can measure that with the Hanson Play Big Baseball profile. I can tell you, I had a guy sitting here yesterday and he didn't have to open his mouth. I can say, man, you are a hurting unit, and here's how I know that. And I can just point to the numbers and say, well, here's what you're doing. He's like, okay. So assessment is number one. Now you see it builds some awareness. And now let's go on and do some restructuring. I'm not going to go into how do you do that now, but I just wanted to convey that it's the better your model, the more power you have to make change. You might have a hitting or a pitching mechanics model. The top people getting the best results have the best models for what's going on. And for me, it's like I got to start with, how is a human designed? What is a human designed for? What's number one? Safety. Just always look through the lenses of like, this guy is doing that in order to stay safe in some way. And it's his inner umpire that's deciding whether he's safe or out. You read about it. That in Play Big if you don't have that. So there you go. I just wanted to give a shout out and a way to go to guys. I've got a bunch of other guys. There's another one I had. This guy was great. A 15-year-old kid schedules this time with me from HansonCalendar.com. And I hadn't talked to him for quite a while. I was like, oh man, has he had some kind of relapse, or wonder if what's wrong, or how it's going for this guy? And he says, I just wanted to talk to you and thank you because I'm having so much fun playing baseball. And that's, of course, music to my ears. That's what I want, is to be freedom. It's be free. I'm like a baseball freedom fighter. I'm fighting for your freedom so that you can have fun, like you're playing wiffle ball. I don't know if they even do that anymore, but when I was young, we played wiffle ball and it was a blast. There was no parents anywhere, no pitch counts for the wiffle ball, and we just had a blast. And so that's what I want it to be, because that's what I want people to walk away from their baseball career, say that was a blast. I left it all on the table, versus I left it all stuck inside me because my rear end was too tight to let it out. So we don't want that. So if you want to take the first step, would always be get an assessment. Where are you at? How is it going? Maybe it's great. Maybe we can identify certain areas. So get yourself the profile. Get the book, Play Big, get any of the products there you see at playbigbaseball.com. They're all liberators. And read through and see which one works for you. If you've got something going on where these people are in pain, they started off in pain that I was talking about, and now have moved to pleasure and fun. If you're in a lot of pain, I'm your guy. In terms of dealing with injuries and coming back. I gave a clinic the other day at the Armory armorypitching.com, awesome place. 4 guys out of 30 come up and say, well, I'm coming back from an injury and I can't let the ball go. That's an emotional issue. So it's a mental emotional thing that needs to get rewired because your body's trying to do what? Protect you. It's about safety. Our bodies are geniuses. Don't curse them. They're doing the number one thing that they're supposed to do. So that's that. I'll let you go. I'm going to run this program that makes this thing stop and just remind you that it's all about the program, and the number one thing is safety. Find a way to upgrade that inner umpire so that it perceives you as safe when you're out there playing ball. All right, Dr. Tom Hansen here from the Play Big Academy, running the off program.